our speaker. Tim Gibson has been a member of the Articulators for almost 3 years.
Right.
And in that time, he has learned much, but not forgotten that his accomplishments was all about taking small steps. Please welcome Tim Gibson.
Thank you. Henry Ward Beecher once wrote, "Men's best successes come after their disappointments." And a large disappointment is what brought me to Toastmasters. So let me tell you a little bit about this event. It was 4 years ago. For those of you that don't know our guest, I'm an architect. I was interviewing for a large project in South Florida. Now, our presentations that we do are generally delivered as a speech format. We usually have graphical backup, usually PowerPoint. Sometimes we have things that we've printed. It may be an aerial map to describe the site we're working on. Different materials. It may be a plan that they have already developed that we're speaking about and how we would accomplish their goals for their project. To say it in succinctly, we are very prepared for these presentations. We will spend days in preparation. Usually involves 3 or 4, maybe sometimes 5 speakers. And on this particular project, my role was project manager. And in the role of project manager, essentially I am the point of contact with the client, in this case a county agency, and the design team. So all the information flows through myself. So it's a pretty key component for the project. During the course of the interview, we decided that, because this is a very large project, it's a $156 million project, we need to bring in some big boys for this job. So we brought in our managing principal, this is the head guy of the corporation, our director of justice, who oversees all of our justice projects nationally, and myself, and we had some supporting team members. So we had a big cast here for this project we intended to capture. Most of you in this room probably have never participated in this kind of presentation or seen one of these, and they don't really follow the format, let's say, of Toastmasters. Toastmasters generally is a very supportive group. When we speak to you, you're generally very supportive. It really is, in most cases, someone in the audience just sort of shaking their head and looking at you. What do you say? But we were prepared. We were resplendent in our attire. Had the gray pinpoint suit. Everything had the power tie, the yellow power tie to go with the gray suit. Everything was ready. We started our presentation and we delivered and we said everything that we set out to say. Every one of these presentations at the end has a portion that we call Q&A, questions and answers. And this is the part which probably resembles our table topics most closely. The client will ask some question that you, of course, aren't given or privy to earlier, and you have to respond immediately. And it turns out that all their questions were focused on the project manager, myself. They had no questions about our experience. They had no questions about what our engineering team was doing. They had no questions about what we had said in the presentation. All the questions revolved around the project manager. Everyone on the committee that was reviewing us had my resume. And they would say something to the effect, "Mr. Gibson, on this project here it says you were the project architect. Now what does that mean? What is your role in the project? Why not the project manager on this project?" And you have to understand, our resumes basically span our entire career. So they list all the projects I've been involved in. Of course, when I got out of college, I wasn't a project manager. I was usually an intern architect, and I moved my way up the food chain as I went along. So a lot of the questions were directed at me, and they were very confrontational. They were not nice. They were out for blood. And it was apparent very quickly that we were not going to win this project. We've seen this before in the public sector. When a county agency has in mind someone else, the way they make sure that they award it to someone else is to undermine your presentation. And they went on the attack. And if one person finished, it went on to the second person. This went on for an entire hour in which yours truly was at center stage, being filmed on camera, in a room of about 50, 60 people. It was actually a county commissioner chamber where they have the dais. This went on for an hour, and when we walked out there, I knew we had lost this project. It was gone. It was history. There was no way in the world we were going to capture it. Well, this could be a pretty devastating event, and it was devastating. personally, I felt very ashamed of my performance in what I had done, because mentally, I wasn't really prepared for that. We had prepared physically for what we were going to say, but I wasn't prepared for the onslaught which came after the presentation. Learned a big lesson that day. And so for months after that presentation, this thing just kind of hung over my head like a cloud. And I thought, well, what have I done? This was terrible. You know, not only was I humiliated, I was humiliated in front of some of the top people in our company. And I thought, I've got to do something. And I think everybody in their lives has gotten to some point where you look at and say, well, boy, I need to do something that's going to fix this situation. I was actually thumbing through the paper one day, the Central Florida Business section, and saw the ad for this club, the Articulators Club. I cut it out and said, that's what I need to do. I need to go to Toastmasters. That sat on my desk for about 9 months. And I'd like to congratulate our guest here today, because you actually took the challenge and came here immediately. I looked at it for a long time because I was undecided about doing it. I was nervous, I was anxious, but finally I came in, I joined the club, and started learning about public speaking. And you know, I have to look back on that now, because I've realized what Toastmasters has done for me as a speaker, and I have looked back and said, why did I wait so long? You know, what was I thinking?
You weren't.
Yeah. So I came to my first meeting, and I think Roxy, you were in the club, Michelle was in the club at that time, and some other people that are no longer with us. And I gave my icebreaker after, I think, 3 to 4 sessions coming to the club. And I look back on that, and what I said, and I don't really remember exactly what I said, but I remember 3 things. I was nervous, of course. I had a lot of shortness of breath, had trouble sort of fully inhaling and speaking. Many ums and ahs. Some of those still persist today. And as I went forward in my speeches, and as I started going through the first manual, giving my 9 other speeches, I realized that I really enjoyed using humor as part of my speaking. One of my first speeches, I remember, was I gave a discussion about my wife's fear of spiders, and how well, it's a long story, but I discovered a spider one day, and, well, you'll have to wait around to hear that one again. I spoke about my childhood in the Great Chipola boat ride. I gave a speech about metaphors and acronyms. I still use a lot of acronyms in my speech. I spoke about my disability, humor deficit disorder.
Yes.
Over the last 3 years at this club, I've given over 25 speeches and participated in 4 speech contests. Outside of Toastmasters, I still continue to give presentations about architectural pursuits and architectural work. And I do believe that the project that I'm working on currently in Tennessee, which we captured 2 years ago, was due in some part to my success in Toastmasters. Again, it was a presentation, big project, a lot of money on the line, and I was the project manager. This time, though, I was a little more prepared for what was going to happen. And I think a lot of that is attributed to table topics and be able to respond quickly to questions. We actually had a 2.5-hour interview that was all questions and answers. They allowed us to do nothing prepared. We had to go to the interview and speak off the cuff for 2.5 hours. So, very difficult speech. Winston Churchill once said, "Every day you make progress. Every step may be fruitful, yet there will be stretched out before you an ever-lengthening, ever-ascending, ever-improving path. You will never get to the end of that journey, but this, so far from discouraging, only adds to the joy and the glory of the climb." So what were my steps in becoming a better speaker? Well, first and foremost, of course, was overcoming fear. And that just happens through practice and just getting up before an audience, standing at a lectern, and talking. Finding a speaking voice. Early on, I tried to imitate other people's styles, and I realized that didn't work for me. Everyone has a style, and you just have to work on it to see what it is that works for you. Take small chances when speaking. Try different techniques. Some of them will work for you, some of them will not. Take a moment to enjoy the moment. Standing up here before everyone, and just take a moment and say, wow, I've got control of this room. You have the power to lead the audience. I think a great example of that was Denny's speech recently when he was doing the "What Were You Thinking" speech. And he took control of the room. We all have to ask this question at some point. Why go to all this trouble? What is public speaking really doing for me? How will I benefit? The answer is simple. If you can do this, if you can stand up here and do this, you can do anything in your life. You come to realize that the path to success is about setting small steps, and the small steps are getting up here weekly and giving speeches. Life is about the journey, not the destination. I hope to see you all on the path. Thank you very much.